Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Apprentice. This is now episode 62, Matt. Looking ahead at Game Week 21. We are still the only podcasting series that delves into the mind of one of the greatest FPL players to ever play the game, with 6 top 10Ks to his name, 5 top 5Ks, and a former rank of FPL Tools. Was it FPL Tools, Matt? Former rank of world number 1. It is, of course, my co-host, Matt Corbs. Matt, how are you?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. How was the last weekend? It was an FA Cup weekend, wasn't it? Was it relaxing? What did you do? Did you watch the footy? What did you get up to?
Watched a few games. Yeah, watched Liverpool Accrington. Obviously, saw that one. Liverpool Man United Arsenal, or should I say Arsenal Man United? That was a good game.
Yeah.
Not if you're an Arsenal fan. Sorry about that if you are, but that was a pretty good one. And then it did catch somebody else. I think Newcastle Bromley maybe I watched. But yeah, not bad. Not a bad weekend. What about yourself?
Yeah, like similar. I'm guessing as well. It was a good. Was it a good weekend? I mean, we'll talk about Game Week 20, which seems like a lifetime ago,
It does.
shortly. But yeah, spoiler, you didn't have a great week. So did you enjoy that break, or was it like you're raring to
No,
get back and sort it out?
right. No, it's a weird one because it's as we'll come on to, it's horrific game week for me. But I'm not like I don't look at my team and think, "Well, I've had a bad game week because that's garbage and that's garbage and that's garbage." I'm quite happy with my team. It's just one of those game weeks. Just happened. Um, the big thing was not having Mbumo and spoiler. You obviously had Mbumo, and I think you were a sub-million game week rank, so a nice green arrow for you.
No, spot on. I mean, like to reassure you, I think there's been some exciting news. Obviously, today, like a couple hour ago. What is it? It's 9 p.m. UK time. I think this was like announced 3 p.m. Like so,
Yeah.
Liverpool Everton fixture that was kind of cancelled is being rescheduled, and it looks like it's going to be a double game week for 24.
24.
Game
It
week
does
24 will
indeed.
be. I think there's a caveat there if Liverpool kind of progress in the Champions League as planned. But I think that's the big news, right? So I reckon we'll spend a fair amount of time
Spend a bit of time on
talking
that.
around
Indeed, we
chip
will.
strategy ramifications. So I think you've got off lightly. I'm not going to scrutinize your game week
I'll take it,
22
mate.
team too
I'll
much.
take it. Well, I'll bring the team. I mean, I'm happy to go first and get mine out the way if you want, Matt.
Yeah, go
Because
on, go
well,
on.
because yours is a bit more exciting than mine. So game week score of 50, which used to be a good score in a game week. I used to be okay with 50, but this time round, an 8.2 million rank, which is my worst game week rank of the season. Which means my overall rank goes from 58,000 doubled to 116k. I didn't do any transfers this week. I played 5 at the back, and maybe it served me right. Who plays 5 at the back? Nobody. But you do it and you get punished. The downside for me, mate, only 4 people returned. One was Palmer, everybody has them. One was Salah, everybody has them, and everybody captained them. And one was Isaac, everybody has them. So the only real differential, who's not that much of a differential anymore for me, was Aina, who got a clean sheet and 6 points. Um, but everybody else, Sanchez lost a clean sheet in the 80 odd minute, ended up on 3 points. Trent, worst game he's ever had in a Liverpool shirt, got 0. Robinson, 1 point after conceding twice. Gabriel Saliba, clean sheet wiped out thanks to a dodgy penalty. But it is what it is. Semenyo, expected goal involvement of 0.71 on another day, could have got a return, didn't. Saar didn't do anything either. And Trent, I know Trent conceded twice and he got booked. Man United had expected goal of 0.67 in that game. So he could have quite easily came away with a clean sheet based on the data. And yeah, didn't have any Brentford players. That's me. That's me, mate. I don't know what the thing is. I don't hate the team. It's just one of those game weeks. Just didn't go for me. People might say I've got Pedro on the bench. He's a penalty taker. Could have played him instead of somebody, but who was it going to drop? Maybe some Semenyo. But you fancy them to keep a clean
I
sheet
think
away
I
at
think you
Brighton,
would
and
I
other
think you
than
would
the
have benched.
penalty, they would have done. And
Yeah,
maybe
you
if you just
probably would have
Dana,
benched
who got
Robinson, right?
6 anyway. I wouldn't have bench Robinson.
Fair
Don't
enough.
think I would
Yeah,
have because he
if,
was
if
not
it's
at
if
home.
it's if it's I think it's always dodgy if when you're benching a
Striker.
penalty taker, but like a striker and a penalty taker. But yeah, if it was the option was Aina or him, then it's not much of a difference, right? It's just one of those weeks. One of
That's
those
it. Only
weeks.
3 points. It's one of those weeks. And the fact that I'm looking, considering spoilers for later, I've got 3 transfers and I'm only considering making 1. I don't hate the team. It's it's not too bad. But yeah, just a bad game week. Rank tank, but game week 20, 116k. I can't complain too much. It's not a bad position to be in, and hopefully that's the big red out the way.
Spot on. So yeah, I got 80 points, so a whole 30 more than you. So I managed to claw quite a bit of our gap back. So I'm under 60 points behind you now, which is really good. So it means that I'm at an overall rank of 600k. So yeah, fairly large green arrow. I was 800k going into the game week, and I think this is my top overall rank of the season. I think before this, game week 3 was my highest. I think I was like 650 there. So like kind of making some good progress, and the 12 green arrow in a row.
Nice.
I wish I, the like predictor tool, they're kind of like your live score prediction tool. So like Fantasy Football Fix has one, live FPL is another. I was making that mistake of checking those scores well before the final day. So I think it was Forest when they played. They won 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Wood got
They
a goal.
played Wolves, yeah. 3-0 against Wolves. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, happy days. I'm like sub 400k, and then obviously the auto subs come on, and Chris Wood and this Forest defense does bits. But it was looking really good there. But like, yeah, overall, kind of like really happy with it. So the differences from my team compared to yours, I had a rare clean sheet from Flecken. Obviously, this is Well, my differentials were Brentford players playing Southampton, which is always a good game to kind of like target. Right, I didn't expect them to win 5, but of course they did. So Flecken kept a clean sheet as a differential, and then Mbumo, of course, got 19 points as a differential. So obviously that shows the power of like just those those games against like really poor opposition. Other than that, I had like the standard players like Salah, Palmer, etc. Up front, a bit of a difference. My all 3 strikers returned a goal with bonus. So Isaac got 7 points. Solanke and João Pedro both got 9 respectively. So gotta take that. I mean, with Solanke, I've kind of really hated owning him, but he got a goal in his 9 points. So yeah, happy with
that. And then it surprised me that he got 3 bonus, despite the fact he was on the losing team. I think Zach was on for 3 until he got booked, and then that cost him.
Yeah, I was surprised at that as well. Like Isaac does seem to kind of like gobble up the bonus points, as you said, but I think it was the yellow card that made the difference there. So of course, I'll take that, and like Mbumo and Flecken the main differentials versus like the kind of main templates. So yeah, happy days for
was
me.
a killer. I think he only had 1 goal at about the 70th minute. And I did a text here to say Mbumo goal, and then within 5 minutes you text back to say *2. And then he got an assist in injury time or something. It's like, this guy, stop scoring points.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Do you remember when neither of us owned Salah through that crazy kind of run? All of his goals and returns will come in 80 minutes plus. So like, games open up, don't they?
Absolutely. 90-minute men's what you're after.
No, exactly. So like, I mean, it's always good having a 90-minute player on penalties, right? It's not rocket science there.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, well done. Good game week for you, mate. Good game week. Good pro. 12 greens in a row, by the way. Do you know what the most you've ever had in a row is?
I think it's probably this. I think it's probably this by some margin. But I am quite far behind, right? So it's easier to get green arrows. I mean, my biggest takeaway from game week 20 was just again penalty takers, right? So João Pedro and Mbumo. I think Jimenez was crazy, right? He had 2 penalties in a single match.
Did the lap score a pen? If I'm not mistaken,
he scored a pen, right? So yeah, there's a lot of cheap options, right? Who are getting pretty assured minutes and getting pens, right? So it's always a good shout to make the most of these sort of players.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll move on to the league. Quick update on this one. Unfortunately, I am back out of the top 10. I appeared in it for 1 week. Straight back out. I'm now down to 13th. 12 points behind 10th. I'm also second, as you can see, in the battle of the David Saunderses with Dave Saunders and sorry Nick Jackson up to 9th in the division. You've climbed up to 38th, Matt, 81 in the league in total. But big shout out to Andy back on top with Claret Crew, who overall rank in the game completely is just under 15k. So yeah, having a good season, Andy. Well done for being back on top. I'm coming back for that top 10 spot though. I feel like 1 week appearance isn't enough. We need to get in there, Matt.
The top 6 positions. It's what have we got? 7 points between them. Tight.
Yeah. Very tight. Very tight. I think Harry Potter's been top. T Stretch has been top. I think all of them been top. Maybe not Jonas, but I think the other 5 have all been on top. As is Thomas in 8th. So yeah, it's a close battle. Waiting for the Diop, by the way. Great name. Well done, Jonas. But yeah, I'm coming back for the top 10. But well done, Andy. You're there for now. Moving on. A little hint at this before. If anybody that is listening or watching that isn't aware, the Liverpool Everton, or should I say Everton Liverpool game, because it's at Goodison Park, has been announced. It's going to come in game week 24. So we just thought we'd have a little chat around potential chip strategy there, looking at who Liverpool have and Everton have in the game weeks around it, in case somebody may consider the assistant manager chip as opposed to just the triple captain chip if you've used it, just to give all the options there. But caveat, I've put in from game week 23 onwards. You can only play your assistant manager chip from game week 24, so you can't do it in the game week 23 fixtures. But we'll start with the triple captain chip, Matt. Does this scream Mo Salah?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, my strategy with the triple captain is always play it when like that top option or the top 1 or 2 options in the game are fit. I'm going to start those, right? So I think that's the case for Salah now, who's clearly the best option in the game, right? I think you make the most of it. Who knows what happens down the line, right? So,
yeah.
And there's not going to be a conflict. You're not going to play a free hit in this game because it's so small. You're not going to play a bench boost again because it's so small, really. So I think the options are you playing triple captain? Are you playing assistant manager, or you decided not to do it? So I think it just like screams out, if you still got a triple captain, go for it. It'd be better if it was landed game week 25, right? That Wolves at home and then Everton away would have been a lot nicer. Bournemouth are a tough team, and then Everton away isn't the easiest. So the 2 away fixtures are against, kind of they're not in favour for it. But I think you gotta go for it. I think personally the advantage probably really does sit with people who've already used that triple captaincy. So I think a few people used Haaland for his hat trick against Southampton, which was what game week 5, is it? Game week 5, game week 6, some
early doors.
It was early in that, yeah. So I think I think if you got your triple captain, it probably makes sense to use it in game week 24 for Salah. I think there is a case for assistant manager, but like I think if you already used the triple captaincy, I'd be looking at probably that assistant manager chip for Slot. I think that's a nice run. And I think the benefit that you've got there is that obviously an assistant manager, are we calling it assistant manager chip, or are we calling it the arse man chip?
Sure. Take your pick. That's man. I'm happy with that, man.
The arse man, yeah. So the arse manager chip, yeah. I think obviously that counts as one of your 3 players from a certain team. Liverpool at the moment, I don't think you can say with clarity who the 3rd best option is after Salah and Trent, right? Is it Van Dijk? Is it Robertson? Is it Alisson? Is it Diaz? Is it Gakpo? Yeah. Hard to say, right? So I think with that uncertainty, I think, kind of bringing in Slot as your 3rd Liverpool option, kind of it really solves that problem for you.
Yeah. Just to clarify there what you were saying, if you've already got 2, so we've both got Salah and Trent as an example. So that's the gamble, right? Do you bring in a 3rd Liverpool player on the hope that they start both games? And maybe Gakpo's looking likely. He started the last 8 Premier League games. He got left out the team entirely in the FA Cup. But Diaz started on the bench. So Diaz could quite easily come in and take that left wing position in a game. or do you play safe? Getting a Virgil. What would you rather have, right? For that run, 24, 25, 26. Would you rather have Van Dijk or Slot, but you've used your chip?
I'd rather Slot, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, just to clarify for anybody listening that didn't clock onto that, if you've got 2 Liverpool players, you can pick Slot. If you've bought in a third Liverpool player, you cannot buy Slot in your assistant manager chip. For price comparison, Slot is 1.5 million, so you'd need that spare in your budget. David Moyes is 0.5 million. And I did have a little toy, Matt, with do you bring Moyes in? Obviously, new manager bounce. See how Everton get on under him, bringing him in game week 24. But I think we did the maths just before. So to clarify for anybody that isn't aware, if your manager, their team gets a win, you get 6 points. A draw is 3. You get a point for every goal, 2 points for a clean sheet. If the team that they beat is over 5 places ahead of them in the league, you will get a bonus 10 points for a win and a bonus 5 points for a draw. So 16 for the win and 8 for the draw. Looking at those Everton games, mate, from game week 24, 25, and 26, only Liverpool are more than 5 places above Everton. So that gamble, for me, really doesn't seem worth it to go Moyes.
Well, it's wait and see. Like Palace have got easy fixtures as of Man United, right? So they could move ahead. They could be more 5 places. But yeah, I think for teams that aren't quite as good, you want to be looking for those opportunities where they can get maximum points by beating teams that are more than 5 places. I think if Palace and United go on little runs and they are more than 5 places ahead of Everton by this time, that's a nice run. There's winnable games there, right? Less 3 home games in 3 game weeks. All them than Liverpool, other than Liverpool, like games that could be a win, right? So I think that's
absolutely.
Wait and see. Actually, yeah, kind of like Moyes could be a really interesting option, and that does allow you to have like a Gakpo or a Van Dijk or a Robertson from Liverpool. But yeah, I think it's super exciting. I think probably most players will play this as a manager or triple captain. I think I'll probably play it boring and sensible and go triple captain for Salah if he's fit. Kind of like why not? I mean, where's your head at?
Off the cuff, assistant manager on Slot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at the minute, I think I'll hold the triple captain till later in the season.
Wow.
I just like the fact that you can make a transfer. If anybody's not aware of that, you're not stuck with that manager for 3 game weeks. You can make a transfer and get somebody else in. So I'm looking at 24 and 25, Matt. I'm thinking Bournemouth, Everton, Wolves, Liverpool can win all those 3 games with a clean sheet quite easily. They could score multiple goals. They get 3 games for the price of 2. And yet, game week 26 City away isn't ideal. But at that point, I could quite easily move him on and take a gamble with a team placed lower in the league, like a Tottenham or a Wolves, or even maybe not, even United, depending on how Everton, depending on how Man United are getting on. I know that banks me in a potential transfer. But I think I'll have a fair few spare come game week 26. So yeah, right now I'm thinking Slot game week 24, game week 25, and then we'll see where I'm at game week 26. Might make a transfer, might just leave them in. City Liverpool could be 0-0. Get some clean sheets. I don't know.
No, for sure. There's some nice games. There's some nice games as well. Game week 26. I mean, Ipswich are home at Spurs. That could be Everton against Man United, Leicester home at Brentford. I think you could see the lower team win. No, I like it. I'm not locked in on it. I think this is us like 5 minutes analysis, but I think I'm a fan of like picking the best players when they're fit for a double game week.
I get that.
And especially like a small one, but like I can see a lot of upside, like for a kind of like playing Slot. But yeah, super exciting. I mean, assume you play triple captain, and you'll assume it's Salah. How many Everton and Liverpool players are you going to look to have in your team, and which players are you targeting?
Yeah, so if I don't have Slot, I'll keep Trent. I'll keep Salah. Obviously, they're going nowhere. My third Liverpool player right now is Gakpo, based on the amount of starts he's got, and I'd prefer to have an attacking Liverpool player, a second attacker, as opposed to a second defender. They seem to be shipping goals, so Gakpo would be my second. From an Everton point of view, mate, honestly, 2 I'd push. I don't think I'd go more. I don't trust Everton's strikers at all. Their expected goal data is one of the worst in the division for a reason. So I'd probably get in Nikolenko if he continues to start. And then I wouldn't be completely opposed to leaving it there, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, right? And I don't think they'll score many goals either.
No, fair enough.
So, yeah.
Fair. I think the good thing is like both Liverpool and Everton, there's good fixtures in and around it, right? So you don't have to like burn or break your team in game week 23 or 25 to like plan for that double game week at all. I think that's all like really pretty reassuring. I think for me I'd be going with 3 of each, and I think I've got Salah and Trent, so they'll be sticking. I like yourself. I'm not really sold on the defense. 2 tough away games. If I was going to defender, Konate is an option just for the price, but I'd be going. I know Alisson's got history against Everton, like scoring against them, but I'm not going Alisson. Same Van Dijk, Robertson. I think don't know if I want to go there. Yeah, I'd like a second attacker, whether that's Diaz or Gakpo. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because the third Liverpool you probably want to get in game week 23, right? So, you're rolling the dice a little bit there if you bring in a third Liverpool player, because you would bring in them for Ipswich at home, and then if you get Robertson, Van Dijk, you just know they're going to play. If you get Gakpo or Diaz, you just don't know if they're going to be benched. So it's got a bit of a risk. Who knows if someone gets injured and it makes it easier for us by that. But
they might both get benched. You could end up having Jota and Nunes playing.
No, I think Nunes is enough that he's not going to play. But like it's hard to kind of see who's going to get the minutes there. Everton, I'll be going 3 Everton for sure. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in FPL. Having 2 chances in a single game week is one of the big opportunities to make the most. So I think Pickford seems like a no-brainer and non-negotiable, just because of price point, but also his propensity to get saves. Right, so you get big returns against Liverpool without keeping a clean sheet. And Leicester at home is a game that they could keep a clean sheet. Mikolenko seems interesting because like he's good for team structure moving forward, right? Because he's 4.3 mil, right? So he's a nice defender that can be benched easily moving forward. Then I'd like an attacker, whether it's Calvert-Lewin, Decore, Ndie, like kind of like whoever seems to get a bit of form on the next couple of things. Decore could be interesting because like Moyes does like a big box midfielder, like who kind of gets in late, right? Whether it's Fellaini or Souček, always be good at him. Good for him at West Ham, right?
Souček, very well.
Decore could be interesting where he plays position. He could be quite interesting. But push comes to shove, I think Calvert-Lewin, if he's start and then presumably on penalties, would be
good. He's burnt me too much, Calvert-Lewin, man.
No, of course.
He's burnt me too much this season. I think I had him for about 5 game weeks, and I don't think he got his return. And as soon as I sold him for Cunha, the return started flowing. He's hurt me too much.
I don't think he's done any. What's he done this year? He's had 2 goals, 2 assists, despite quite a lot of minutes. So he's been really bad. But I think he's cheap enough that you can just bench him in and around. You're playing for Leicester home, Liverpool home, and then you can bench for the rest. But I think I'll be going with six players for between the 2 teams, and then I'll be saving transfers accordingly just to kind of make sure I'm ready and set up for it.
So right now, I appreciate you're going to look at it more, but right now it's 3 players from each, triple captain, Mo Salah, game week 24.
I think so. Yeah, that's where my head is at. Immediate thoughts.
Nice.
I'm curious about the assistant manager though, just because of the uncertainty around like a final Liverpool player.
Yeah, that's what's leaning me towards slot mate because I don't want to be looking at like, well, who's gonna start. On
Then
on another
you've
note,
got to think
just
where how many more game weeks, double game weeks you have, right? Because you've got what other chips will you have? You'll have a triple captaincy. You'll
yeah,
have
it's gonna be
a
used on
free
one
hit,
free
which
hit.
seems to be better in things, and you'll have a bench boost.
Yeah.
So, um,
So triple captain I'll use on one, definitely.
yeah,
What I
I
don't
guess the
want
free
this
hit.
to do, right? What I don't want this to do, the assistant manager chip, crit chip. What I'm really concerned about is, say there's a blank game week in 33, and then a big double in 34. I can't play my assistant manager chip in 33
Yeah, good point.
or 34 or 31 because it blocks me from playing every other chip for 3 game weeks. So that's what I'm concerned about. Because
No,
ideally, in
good
a
point.
situation like that, you might free it in one and then bench boost in the next. So
Yeah, good
I
point.
don't want it to catch me at some point. This just seems like a clean way of playing it to me.
No, no, I get it. We got a few game weeks to work it out, haven't we? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely,
interesting thoughts.
absolutely. Um, but yeah, onto the fixture ticker. We didn't really look at this properly last week in the split format.
Hmm.
Interestingly, Palace aren't top. They have been top for about 3 weeks. They're not miles off, but their defensive data is down to sixth on the table. And there's been a lot of noise, Matt, about Munoz and the fact that he seems to be the most forward player Palace have got in their team of late. And he's been very unfortunate not to get some attacking returns. Defense, they're on the ticker. Attack, you'll see in a second, they're on the ticker. Are you considering him at all?
I think that ship is sailed for me personally. Like
Doesn't sell it
those,
to you, did you
those
say?
fixtures are mixed. There's a lot of away games there, right? Leicester
Yeah.
away, West Ham away, Brentford at home. Obviously, Brentford got a decent attack. Man United away, Everton home, Fulham away. I don't think that's screaming at me clean sheet, multiple clean sheets.
Yeah. Would you get him for as a potential attacking? I think he's got 2 goals, 2 assists this season. Same as Calvin
I
Lewin.
think bread and butter is clean sheet, right? You go for clean sheet first, and then you look at the attacking potential as a
Yeah.
bonus on top of that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's other options out there instead. So like Lewis Hall, Wolves, Bournemouth, Fulham, all at home, and Southampton in the next 4 potential
Yeah,
options there.
yeah, yeah. I
Brighton
think
as well. Brighton second on the ticker.
yeah, I think the problem you got at the moment is like the teams with the best defensive fixtures, they don't have the best defenses, right? So it's kind of like
Yeah.
quite mixed there. So you could say Mazraoui from United would be good, but I mean, you want to put too much faith there. Spurs third best games from a defensive point of view in the next 6. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near their defense. Same with Villa, to be honest. They've been
Yeah.
quite leaky. I think
And
Hall
Stevens.
is probably the standout. Honestly,
Yeah. Would you looking at those fixtures ahead of game week 24? I appreciate this doesn't show the double fixtures,
yeah.
but I'm assuming that Everton defense or Pickford specifically, is he a dodge until 24? Villa, Tottenham,
Um,
Brighton next.
it's team dependent. I don't think you'd rush him in beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd rush him
Yeah.
in beforehand. Um, yeah, I think you're quite well set up, right? You've got a. If you
I've
got
got a Fulham.
oh yeah, I
Got
thought you had
Robinson.
Hall as well. Yeah, you got.
No, just Robinson. Ina, who's way down. Villa, sorry, 2 Arsenal way down. Liverpool way down.
Yeah, my
Just
defense is a
one.
mess as
Just
well,
one.
but luckily it's a mess in that I got Saliba, Gabriel, and Trent. So that's quite good defenders,
Yeah.
right? So like obviously this is some weight expected returns and take into account how good the actual teams are themselves, right? So
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Have
that.
you, out of interest, in the last couple of game weeks, Arsenal have conceded a few.
Yeah.
Their underlying data has still been half decent, though. Are you in any way, shape, or form considering selling? I would imagine out the two, you'd sell Saliba rather than Gabriel. But you're tempted to sell him for like a
Um,
haul.
If there wasn't the imminent double game week, probably I'd be looking to get Saliba out pretty quickly, and I'd get him out for Mazraoui from United maybe to make the most of that. That's out those home fixtures that are coming up, or Lewis Hall.
Yeah.
But
Double
I
game
think at
week.
the moment I don't have to rush. It's not like a problem to be solved.
Yeah.
Right, so
And they could quite easily, if you take the Tottenham attack, how they played against Tamworth, or even against Liverpool in the League Cup, you can see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet there.
exactly. It's not exact. It feels like a luxury move.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the attack, Arsenal top. Unfortunately for them, Saka's out. Jesus is now out. Havertz seems to be missing every opportunity he's given.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. We've both got two Arsenal defenders. Their defense is still statistically the best in the division. Given injuries, if you're going to attack the Arsenal attack based on those fixtures, which player are you picking?
I don't think you want any.
Really, dodge them all.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be bringing in any. I'd be looking to probably sell them. Like probably Odegaard is the number one option there, but obviously he's missed penalty in the FA Cup now. Maybe he's off then. Particularly if like Jorginho is on the pitch, it's a very good penalty taker, right? No one's inspiring, right? Havertz isn't, Odegaard isn't, Martinelli isn't. So yeah, I don't think I'd go there.
Trossard maybe get a few minutes, but then for how long? To be fair to Odegaard, he took one in the penalty shootout as well and scored. So maybe Arteta will keep it on them. But even the Arsenal fans seem to be getting annoyed with Odegaard. He's not quite producing. So yeah, I get that. Is there anybody on this that does jump out? So for example, Newcastle in fourth, Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham. 3 of them are home in the next 4. We've both only got Isaac.
Yeah, I think that's probably the team. But Arsenal know, Arsenal no one, Everton no one yet, but Gameweek 24 becomes more interesting. You can see that Leicester home fixture is really a kind of like a fixture that fixed really rates to attack from an attacking point of view, and I agree. Ipswich, I think the lap is becomes super interesting, particularly people looking to offload like a striker and free up some cash. Yeah, Newcastle, I think you could go all 3 attackers, right? Yeah, Isaac, Gordon, and Murphy. Right, I think Murphy's now nailed. I think that's probably the order that I'd put them in. But yeah, I think people sitting with Gordon should be kind of really kind of happy with that decision.
Absolutely.
United have options, right? Both like cheap Ahmad and then Bruno, who's a set and forget. Now I might be considering bringing him in just because of the strength of the next 2 fixtures. I think that's like very interesting for me. Yeah, I think like the other names on there, Chelsea, Brentford, Villa, Liverpool. I think it's quite obvious the players that you want to target from there. Palace, just about squeezed. They got mixed fixtures, but okay. Both you and I have Saar. I don't think he's done anything since I've got him. Those fixtures are enough to keep him for the time being.
Yeah, that's it. And he seems to be getting the minutes. Seems to be playing 90. Eze and Mateta seem to be getting subbed off, so he seems like the set and forget. And the underlying data, he's been matching, if not beating Eze and Mateta, just hasn't put the ball in the net or got the assist.
Sure.
So yeah,
I think
I'm not jumping.
He's an easy hold until Gameweek 24, which could be a convenient opportunity to jump to Decore or
Liverpool,
someone else, a Liverpool player or Everton player.
Absolutely. I get that. No, I'm with you. So it's we'll touch on the potential thoughts about bringing in a Newcastle and United player a little bit later on, but we're going to move on to captaincy. And there's actually, for the first time in weeks, Matt, a debate because it isn't just Salah. Salah's away at Nottingham Forest, statistically the 3rd best defence in the league. Quick fire question: will you be captaining Salah this week?
I think so.
You think you will?
Yeah.
Gonna go for him. Well, there's the debate because I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going to go for him. So for those that are listening, as opposed to watching, Salah's expected points this game week, 5.9. Forest's at home defence, expected goals conceded per 90, 0.93. As I say, 3rd best in the division. According to Fantasy Football Fixers data, the top predicted player is Palmer with 6.7. He's at home to Bournemouth, who have expected goals conceded per 90 and away fixtures of 1.6. So playing a worse defence. Isaac's on the list as well, Matt, right? Isaac's fifth with 5.1 expected points, but he's only down because he's an amber on the app, right?
Yeah.
His points would be well higher than that otherwise. And but that's where I'm looking to go. I'm probably going to captain Isaac. He's at home to Wolves. And again, their expected goals per 90 conceded. Away from home, 1.6. So yeah, tell me why Salah? Why are you sticking?
When there's a gap between Salah and Palmer this season, like, and if you're using a lot of stats there, so like according to the FPL site per 90, Salah's getting 1.1 expected goal involvement per 90. Yeah,
That is it. Not bad.
Palmer, yeah,
That's
exactly.
fairly decent return number.
Palmer
Yeah.
is 0.8, right? So there's a gap there.
Mhm.
There's a fair gap. I suspect if you played run the same numbers of even if you want to do away versus home fixtures, I bet if you played Liverpool team goal involvement in away fixtures versus Chelsea at home, Liverpool would come up there. I think there's a gap there.
We are top. We are better away this season, Liverpool. Yeah. We've lost 0 points at Anfield. We've lost 1, drew 2 at Anfield, and away from home, I think we've only drew twice and won the rest. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just think Chelsea are mixed, right? Like the last Palace, they drew 1-1. Obviously, Palmer got the goal. They lost 2-0 to Ipswich. They lost 2-1 to Fulham. They drew 0-0 with Everton.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool is a lot better than Chelsea. So,
what about you've got Isaac? Is there a reason you're staying away from him?
Yeah, good point. I guess it's the floor. I guess it's the floor versus ceiling, right? I think for whatever reason he seems to be getting one return, not the double-digit returns. But
No,
I'll probably I feel like I need to look at this in a bit more detail based on what you've said and what I'm seeing on the screen here, with Palmer being the favourite in terms of expected points by some margin.
Yeah. I get Salah over Palmer though, because you're right. Salah as a player is returning more, expected to return more. Know what it is, mate? I've said since game week 1, I just rate the Forest defence so highly.
Yeah,
that's the reason I'm dodging Salah. I just, they came to Anfield, won 1-0.
Yeah,
I think
true.
they conceded one against Chelsea, or did they keep a clean sheet? They conceded 1 against Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
their defence is phenomenal. For that reason, I'm probably going to dodge Salah. It might be a painful one. I mean, I say that as a Liverpool fan. If Salah goes and scores twice and Liverpool win, I'll be okay with it. But yeah, from an FPL perspective, I just feel it's a potential week to be off them, and I'll probably go Isaac. If I need a how update, right? A proper how update on if Isaac's going to play, but from the sounds of it, he will.
Not fair.
Yeah, do get him. Do get your Salah pick. He's been the best player in the league by some distance all season. So yeah, I get him. Let us know. Let us know in the comments who you're putting as your captain. I don't know whether that was a debate, mate, or that was just me going. That's who I'm picking.
I think you got me question myself. So yeah, I think it certainly is.
Yeah. So it's Isaac or Salah. Or Palmer if you fancy it. On to Matt versus Dave. And now, as much as my game week was dreadful, I've had an absolute surge in this. I was 7-3 down, and I've managed to bring it back, and I've gone 8-7 up. Scraped it this game week. We both got an assist from one of our players. Jacob Murphy with an assist for you. KDB with an assist for me. None of which got bonus points, so they balance each other out with 5. And long story short, Evan Nielsen got 60 plus minutes and Jota didn't. So 2 points for Evan Nielsen, 1 point for Jota, 7-6 to me, taking it to 8-7.
Wow.
Overall. We want it to be close, Matt. We want it to be close up until about game week 38. That's where we want it to be on edge. But looking at game week 21, I get to pick first. And I'm going a bit left field, if I'm honest with you, mate. I'm going a bit left field. I'm going to pick that Newcastle Wolves fixture.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to pick a Newcastle player, and it was between 2. But Joe Linton has got 3 returns in his last 3 games. So I'm hoping that he keeps up
yeah.
that form. And he's 1.7% owned, so he fits the brief. So my first pick is Joel Linton.
I like him. I think he is a walking red card though.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Wouldn't shock me at
um,
all if I come on and it's the first time one of us has ever got a minus.
I think I'm going to target that Southampton game, which is like so good. So I'm going to go Rasmus Højlund. I think he's 1.6% owned when I checked, so super low ownership.
Decent.
Rightly so. He's done
Decent.
nothing. He doesn't get any returns. His underlying stats are really bad. But if there's a game to change that, I think it's Southampton home.
Yeah, but they conceded 5 again in a couple of games
5 against
recently.
Brentford,
So,
yeah.
and if you watched interviews with Bruno Fernandes after they drew 2-2 with Liverpool, after they beat Arsenal and Pens, Bruno seems very focused on we need to make sure we do it against Southampton as well, and not just in the big games. So maybe he'll drum up the
I think there's never a problem with him,
changing room.
really, but it's just a problem with everyone else around him. But
The rest of the
that's one
team.
of the benefits of picking Hodgson, that he's got Fernandes feeding into him, right? So
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm gonna pick a new name that I don't think we've had all season for my second. I don't trust the Brighton defence, so I think it's leaky, and they are away at Ipswich, and Ipswich seem to be getting not too bad at home. Right? I don't want to say good, but they're not bad. They're doing all right at home. As a result, I'm going to go for Delap. 3.3% owned, 3 returns in his last 2 games.
Nice.
So again, hoping the guy's on form. So yeah, I'm going to go. Delap.
I like it. I hope like at least one of us get him in actual FPL teams this year. I think he's doing kind of really great. I'm gonna go Martinelli, who is 4.8% owned, I believe, so just under the threshold.
I'll do.
Saka's out. Jesus is out. I think Martinelli's got to play, and Spurs are super leaky, right? So this is a game where I think, despite Arsenal's lack of conviction in attack, I think they could score 2-3 goals, and I'd expect some involvement from Martinelli. So
yeah. See. I think the front three going to be probably him, Trossard, maybe Havertz.
Yeah,
like it. Well, there you go. So Højlund and Martinelli against Joel Linton and Delap. Do you remember the days we had KDB, Son, Odegaard, and now we're picking Martinelli and Delap. It's hard. The good players get over 5% very quickly. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Will it be 8-8 or will I take a 2-point lead? We will find out on Wednesday when we we won't have a result on Wednesday because some of these players don't play until after the next pod. So we'll do it the week after.
Yeah.
The week after. But for those that are listening or watching, we're going to come to you with a live stream on Wednesday, 8 p.m, like a watch along sort of thing ahead of game week 22. But we're still going to go through game week 21 first. Matt, it is time to talk through your plans. What are you looking to do?
Yeah, so I've got free transfers going into game week 21. As I mentioned, I kind of want to just like accrue as many transfers as possible to prep for that double game week in 24. Maybe it's means I'm like putting too much emphasis on it, but I have got that in mind. My team is okay. It's not great, but it's okay, right? So current team is Fabianski in goal, Saliba, Gabriel, Trent as a back 3. Palmer, for some reason, I'm captain on on my bus team, but yeah, kind of Palmer, Salah, Sarr, and Bumo Rogers, and then I was going to play Pedro and Isak up front, benching Solanke against Arsenal. I think, do you think Everton? I think Rogers away to Everton and Bumo home to City. Pedro away to Ipswich. They're better fixtures than Solanke, and he's not a penalty taker, so I'm cool benching him. So yeah, looking at my team. João Pedro looks like he's fit now, but like if I thought he was out for a long term, I'd bring in Jimenez, or if not Jimenez, Delap. But probably not going to make that. If I was forcing a move, right, it would probably be Solanke down to a 4.5 million striker, and I think that's a 4.4 mil for Southampton, who's like injured. Stuart injured long term. So I'd probably do that. It's just like a bench fodder player, and then I could move Rogers to Bruno Fernandes. So I think that's an upgrade for my team this week for sure. So I'm bringing in Fernandez, who's arguably a captaincy option for this game week.
Yeah,
Solanke, I wouldn't be starting. However, I think I am concerned about the inflexibility of my team moving forward. Then that really does force me to a 3-5-2 formation. At the moment, I can like pick and choose, and it may make it a little bit more difficult to get certain players from Liverpool. So I could just roll. My team looks fine, so it's not great, but there's nothing I have to do. Like if I was forcing a move, it'd be that kind of Rodgers to Bruno move. But that does have a few knock-on effects, like kind of like Solanke's not done anything too wrong, and like I think he's got some easy. He's got Leicester at home, game week 23, Everton away 22. Right, he's got an okay run. So I'll kind of mull over that. I think other option would be getting rid of Mbeumo ahead of City and Liverpool, but I think he's good enough to just keep.
Yeah, I think after a 19-point haul, might be worth just keeping hold for the time being. At this point in time, are you in the potential that you play the assistant, the Assman chip in game week 24? Are you considering budget at all?
I've got so many that's a benefit of just rolling transfers. If you have enough transfers, you can make anything happen, right?
Yeah, true that. Yeah. So at the minute, from the sounds of what you're saying, you're probably set on the roll.
Yeah, or I'll play around with that Solanke out and then Bruno in for Rodgers. Like kind of move. I do like the upside of that, but it's very short. It's got a very short term view, right?
Yeah.
He needs to nail that Southampton game. If not, then it's like I'll get pretty annoyed.
Yeah. No, I get it. But it's and then it takes you down to 1 free transfer, so you'll still have 2 going into the next game week. To be fair, because you'll be rolling at least one of them. So no, like it. Mine is, you know what, not a dissimilar place. I've got 1.6 million in the bank, which is handy. I can afford any manager if it remains. But again, my team's not horrendous. Sanchez in goal, are home to Bournemouth. Chelsea have this habit of conceding in the 80th minute every game, so I'm not expecting a clean sheet there. Same back three as you: Trent, Gabriel, and Saliba. And then across the midfield, Palmer, Semenyo, Salah, and Sarr. Got the captaincy armband on Palmer purely because Isaac is amber. If I'm pretty confident he's going to play or start, I'm just going to give him the captaincy armband. I think he can do a lot of damage in that game. And then the rest of the strike force: João Pedro away at Ipswich, and Cunha away at Newcastle. The two players here I don't like, Matt, at all are Semenyo and Cunha. Semenyo away at Chelsea, not a great fixture. Cunha away at Newcastle, not a great fixture. But looking at even the games that are following, so start with Cunha away at Newcastle, away at Chelsea, a home to Arsenal, a home to Villa, away at Liverpool. Poor fixtures for the next 5. Semenyo away at Chelsea, away at Newcastle, a home to Forest, a home to Liverpool. Again, horrific fixtures for the next 4. So I'm considering maybe removing both of them. Now I could quite easily just bench them. Robinson away at West Ham, not a terrible fixture. I'm a bit concerned about Graham Potter coming in there and the new manager bounce that always seems to kick. So is that a game for him to come in and put a few past Fulham, maybe? But Rodgers away at Everton, not a bad fixture for Villa. So I could quite easily bench one for them, for Rodgers. But what I'm leaning towards, I've got two. I've got 2 things I'm really leaning to. So do we get rid of Cunha and Semenyo? And then I would bring in Delap for Cunha just to free up some money, which would then allow me to go Semenyo to either Anthony Gordon or Bruno Fernandes. I'd then roll the other transfer. Or they would just do one transfer, Semenyo out, and bring in Jacob Murphy, allowing me to roll 2. I'll end up doing one of them. I just don't know which one it is.
I think option A is better.
Yeah, I like it. And I'd likely get, at the minute, if you were to ask, I'd get Gordon over Bruno.
Okay.
The only reason is I like the next 4 fixtures, not the next 2.
And you prefer Delap over Jimenez?
Yeah. Jimenez, I know everybody's jumping on Jimenez, but because he scored 3 goals of late, all 3 were pens. I'm not convinced. And Ipswich are second on the attack fixture ticker. Fulham aren't even in the top 10 from memory.
Yeah, good point. I do like Delap. Yeah, you got just these like 3 low-priced midfielders that are just going to be a problem.
Yeah, I know. I need to move one up.
I mean, if you were rolling, I would start Rodgers over Semenyo.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah. And then your team looks
fine.
Do
you know why it looks like this?
Your team then looks fine, right? Cunha is a penalty taker.
Yeah.
João Pedro is a penalty taker. Isak's a penalty taker, right? So I think your team looks absolutely fine there. So it depends how much emphasis you want to put, how many Everton Liverpool players you want. Obviously, you don't want to go all in, so maybe you can be a bit more lax about it. I like option A. I think over the next couple, Delap is probably an upgrade over Cunha for the next couple at least, and then certainly Bruno and Gordon. I'd rather them in my team.
And if you, well, I was going to ask you a really stupid question there, which was if you had to pick between Gordon and Bruno, who are you picking? Well, you are picking between the two, and you're picking Bruno.
I go Bruno all day. Yeah.
What is it about Bruno you prefer to Gordon?
Penalties.
Penalties. Yeah, good answer. straight up. 90-minute man, guaranteed pens. Just be interesting. Gordon in the FA Cup, Murphy and Isak went off, and Gordon went up front. Interestingly, now I don't think that's going to happen in the Premier League. Granted, they were.
That doesn't help.
I think it was that. Yeah, he plays worse, doesn't he? Plays worse.
Yeah, because I had him a lot of last year, and he did well for me. But there are long periods where he wasn't doing well, and when he wasn't doing well, it was when he was playing up front, and then he had 2 crappy wingers. Like, so he plays better off the wing, playing off Isak. Like when he's the sole focal point of the attack, he's bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'd probably be on penalties though. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He took one in the FA Cup. His goal was a penalty, but Isak wasn't on the pitch, and I'm expecting Isak to be on the pitch. Come the game week, so you'd expect Isak to probably take the reins again. I've just checked, by the way. Do you know that double game week, right? Liverpool, Everton play on the 1st of February against other teams. They then don't play each other until game week 12. The 12th of February. That's a big long game week. 11 days between the fixtures.
Yeah, that makes your arse man Chip better. Like for the slot, he ain't going to get injured, is he?
No, that's it. Well, he might, but for anybody that is interested, if a manager does get sacked and you've got them, you just keep that team's points going forward. So if Slot gets injured and somebody comes in, I'll just keep Liverpool's points. But yeah, it's a big gap in it. It's a massive gap, which is quite interesting. I thought because the next game week starts about 2 or 3 days later, so I thought they might throw it in game week 25, but no, decided against. But yeah, I'm glad you said A is the point, mate, because I think Everton will do well at home to Villa. New manager, the return of Moyes. I don't think Villa are a decent side, but Everton can defend. Clean sheets against Chelsea, clean sheet against Arsenal. Only conceded one against City of late, so I think they'll keep a clean sheet. So I'd much prefer to gamble and play Delap, who's a penalty taker as well. And then I can afford Bruno. I can afford him, and it do me head in when Gordon scores, but I can afford Bruno, so I might go there.
Yeah,
leaves me with one transfer to roll.
Yeah, I'd be making that move or rolling and playing Rodgers over Semenyo. I think.
I'm a gambler. I'm going to probably make the transfers. I'm a gambler.
Yeah, and I think you really want Gordon as well, don't you?
I do a little bit, but your point about Bruno being a penalty taker makes a lot of sense.
Well, again, it's just the best game to bring him in for, right? As well.
Yeah. And then it's easy, if I want to sell, if I want to get to like a Gakpo or a Diaz. I appreciate Gakpo as a striker, but if I want to get to a Diaz for game week 24, I can sell Bruno to pretty much any Liverpool player.
Yeah, exactly.
Gordon's just slightly cheaper than Diaz. It might not be anymore, to be fair. Anyway, yeah, interesting. Appreciate the guide. If you out of the two, which one would you do? Would you roll or would you do the transfers?
Yeah, probably the transfers in your situation, and given what you want to do for the Everton double game week, which is not a lot. So
Yeah. That's it. Play slot chip and get 2 Everton players at a push. So yeah, I don't need to do loads. Spot on. Well, thank you very much, and we will leave that there, mate, because we're going to catch up in 2 days anyway with the live watch along.
yeah, we are. Yeah.
I'll set something up for that. We will have seen the 4 games on tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, and then another 5 happening if I'm again on Wednesday as we'll watch along live and chat ahead of game week 22. Hopefully the chat will be telling us when the goals go in. But luckily for me, Liverpool Forest is tomorrow, so I'll get to watch that without recording this. So yeah, that's the game of the week, right? First against third. That's the game of the game of the week. Are you going to be watching it?
Depends what TV channel. Hope so.
TNT. Every game this week is on TNT.
Let's see. Let's see if I can. I'll see if I can get something. Get something up.
Yeah. We'll say no more about that, Matt. We'll see what you can do. But no, I appreciate your time, Matt, as always. And we'll, as I say, we'll catch up in 2 days anyway, ahead of game week 2022. But yeah, appreciate your advice, your guidance. I look forward to both Captain and Isaac. Best of luck with the role. Oh well, Bruno Fernandes. I feel like you're going to go for it.
Yeah, I'm getting tempted, but yeah, I'm excited to see your team. Like Delap being will be pretty fun.
I think so, and a home to Brighton. I think he could return straight off the bat. Hopefully,
Yeah.
more than let's put it this way, I'd back him to return a home to Brighton more than I would Cunha away at Newcastle. That's my thoughts.
Agree.
Yeah, so that's maybe where I'll end up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see on Wednesday. Well, when do they play? That might be a live watch along. That'd be the exciting part. But I'll catch you then, mate. I will see you then. Thank you again. I'm chatting nonsense as always at the end.
Good man. All right, catch you in 2 days.
Will do. And thank you to the listener for joining us. If you did learn anything, which hopefully you did, please do give us a like, a subscribe. It does help other people to find us. It's free to do. And it just means we get up those algorithms. But whatever you do yourself with your team, best of luck ahead of game week 21. We will catch you in 2 days ahead of game week 22 for a live watch along. Until then, all the best. May your arrows be green.